Good morning, YouTube. It is 10 a.m. in the great state of Texas. And did you see that goofy introduction to the video and that little jump that I did walking into the workshop? Absolutely looked goofy. Totally will admit that. Trying to get better about these little intros. So what are we doing today? So this palette, if you've ever noticed, sometimes it's in the back of the videos when I'm working, or it's in the back of the workshop, just sitting there behind me while I'm working on the lathe. And it's just been there, and I've decided, you know what, it is long overdue that I do something with this palette. So a couple months back, I did another palette bowl with just using a beam, took it off, sawed it down, glued it up, and made a cool little bowl out of it. And originally was going to do the same thing. So what's going on here is my failure to actually make a blank for this week's video. So all of this happened last week. So the plan was take this board off, glue it up, and make a small little bowl and do something maybe a little bit different with it, because it was a busy week for me, and sometimes things don't work out and you have to throw them in the trash just like that. So my plan was originally to glue this up and have a project for Sunday that was going to be fairly simple. Then that didn't work out, so what I had to do was come up with another plan. So I wanted to do bigger, better bowls, and decided, you know what, we can take this piece and make a larger bowl blank out of it, which I had not intended to do. I was actually just out of ideas for this week because I've been working, things get busy, adulting is hard, yada yada yada. So sometimes when you're doing projects, they just don't work out the way that you envision. And up until this point, I'm still planning on just gluing this up and doing a simple little bowl. Nothing special. And I'm thinking, you know, it's early in the week. I started this on a Monday, and I have time to get it all done. And then I chopped it up and realized, you know, this is not going to work out the way I had envisioned. So instead of doing a smaller project, I got a little bit more eager beaver and decided to take a hatchet, and instead of using the bandsaw, I'm just going to go ahead and just chop the wood up like kindling. And realized, you know what, that's probably not a good idea. So then I had to go back and come up with a different plan. Just kidding. Obviously, don't use a hatchet when you have a bandsaw. So what I ended up doing was saying, okay, it's early in the week, I'm going to have time, I'll get something done. The other problem is it's 1,000 degrees in the state of Texas right now. So my workshop does not have air conditioning. So it's literally like working in an oven. So what I ended up doing was just saying, okay, I've got time, I can come in the evening, I can come in the morning and make this project. And I've done all these small little bowls for like a year and a half, and I haven't done any real larger projects. And I decided, you know what, let's start getting more creative, let's start doing something different. And I was like, okay, we're gonna do a big bowl blank. And Monday I set this thing up. I said, okay, my original palette board video wasn't gonna work, so now we gotta do something a little bit different, and that's what this is. Monday's ambition drove into the rest of the week, and like everything else, things happen. So what did I have here? Just my pine board, 2 different types of epoxy, one bright orange using some black flake, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour this into our 5-quart resin bucket, and got a big waste block in there, and just decided let's do something a little bit different. Okay, a little bit different pace today. So here's the bowl blank 4.5 hours later, approximately 5 days ago. We poured this. Today is actually, today is Saturday, July 8th, right now. So it's 6:30 on my phone. And the video is going to come out tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. We have done this for years, and I've got to turn this bowl blank into a bowl to give you guys a project. So video is going to be a little bit different, but tell a story. And I just got home from Austin, awesome Blink-182 concert yesterday. Drove home from the concert this morning. Have been up since like 5:30. Came home, got home around 1:30, took a nap, and now here we are in the garage. It's 6:30 in the afternoon right now, and we've got to make a bowl. So it's going to be an all-night marathon of turning this big behemoth into a project. And we got to keep the streak alive. So, by the way, Blink-182, I'm 40 years old. Great, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. So, anyway, we're going to transform this. Here's what it looks like. All done, 5 days later, 4.5 hours. We've got to turn this into a project for you guys. So, here we go. From this moment, when I put it on the lathe, this is completely 6:30 p.m. Saturday, right before the video goes out. So hopefully we can get this done. So here we go. All right, so the journey continues through this video. So as of this commentary, it is now 1 o'clock in the morning, July 9th, 2023. You guys are literally watching this video 9 hours from now. So as I did in my little monologue there, was in Austin, went to Blink-182 concert, drove home this morning, and have been home trying to get this project done. So back to the project, you can see the blank there formed up. The bucket adheses to the epoxy. Every time I do these deep pours, there's always an issue as far as not being able to pop out the actual blank itself. So we're using deck screws, those big gray screws that I usually only use for like furniture builds. How to use those this time because was not able to use those small little ones that I usually do. And doing slow motion again. Absolutely love this shot. You can see all that cool epoxy and the bowl itself flying off the lathe. This is just a really cool shot. I know I say that like for the past like 4 videos that we've been doing slow motion, but really love the aesthetic of how this looks on camera. You can see some of the bigger chunks there flying off the lathe, but really love how that looks, and I hope you guys are really enjoying that as well. Adds, you know, a little something different to the video. So got this behemoth on the lathe. I literally, like I said, have not done a large project in like almost a year and a half. Nothing this big from what I can remember. I've always done something a little bit smaller, but never this big. And I've had my lathe for about 4 years now, because I've been doing YouTube for 4 years. We're working on year 5. And I was really surprised that I was able to turn down this material as well as I did. Not a whole lot of issues once we got onto the lathe. I think the biggest thing that I kind of took away from this was having to realize where the wood and the epoxy kind of like joined and ended. Because there's a couple of times here where I start and stop the lathe half a dozen times, because I really want the wood to show, but I also want to save the epoxy. But I realized like a little bit through it that I just needed to make a nice cylindrical shape. And as much as I liked the project at the end of all of this, I really wanted a different shape, and we're definitely going to do a different shape. I like it that it's a bowl, but it's just like an oblong barrel shape, and I really don't like that kind of look. I think we could have narrowed the bottom a little bit better, and I think it would have turned out a little bit cooler. But like I said, I started this project at 6:30 in the afternoon. It's 1 in the morning right now. I'm exhausted and tired, and I just wanted to get something done, and not so much just get something done to throw onto the channel, but I wanted to do something that looks good and that I was, happy with. So as much as I wanted to do that boring palette kind of bowl in the beginning of the video, things didn't work out, and we made a beautiful piece, as you can see here at the end of it. I still don't know what I'm going to use for the thumbnail, so you guys might already know what it's going to look like aesthetically at the end, but I'm probably not going to use the finished project as the thumbnail. But once we got the cylindrical shape done, we got all the material worked off, and now we're just coming back, flattening out, and a little bit of issues with the chisels back and forth a little bit. And this part, I was really proud of myself because I knew gouging was going to be an issue, because the problem here in Texas right now, it's so hot, like I said, that the epoxy kind of like melts and it like reacts differently on the chisels once you start getting that friction up to a certain level to where it doesn't peel as well. And also, fun fact, I didn't know this until, a little bit later in the video, but my camera kept on turning off. So there's a heat sensor in my camera that it was so hot that the camera would just shut off. So these like jump shots in between the gouging portions of them, it's not me stopping the camera as much as it is the camera just shutting off. And I was like, why does this just keep on turning off? And then I finally caught the sensor flashing on the camera screen, and I was like, oh damn, it's too damn hot. But I didn't have time to wait because I had to get this project done. So a couple of jump shots here and there, but the gouging portion went relatively smooth. I was waiting for the actual bowl blank itself to jump off the lathe. If you go back and watch my early day videos on YouTube, I had a lot of issues with the blank jumping off the lathe, and I thought that was going to happen. I had to stop the video or stop the lathe a couple of times and tighten it down just to make sure that the chuck was still in place. But luckily we were good and that didn't end up happening. I really took my time, was not aggressive with the actual gouging portion. You can see all the ribbons there and all the shavings, and got to a nice depth. I was really happy how that ended up, going and turning down. Sorry, I'm just kind of mumbling now because it's 1:09 in the morning. So sanding, we didn't do any wet sanding for this part. We just went from 340 all the way up to 1500, but I'm using entire sheets of sandpaper, so just really working that out, and then just putting a copious amount of wood wax on there. You can really see the shine and the pop on this one. Really happy how this project turned out. So everything ended up turning out okay. You guys got a video. We keep this streak alive with keeping something to post on Sundays. Awesome story. So just because things don't work out doesn't mean that you can't work hard and get them done, because we started on Monday with one idea, and it's Sunday now and we ended up with something absolutely beautiful. I just didn't want to throw a junk project on the channel because I want my channel to get bigger. I want, obviously, my skills as a woodworker to get better. So just didn't want to throw anything on there, and really happy how this ended up turning out in spite of, the original idea not working out exactly how I envisioned. But absolutely beautiful bowl. There is a small crack in it from where the epoxy didn't set up, but overall, really happy how this turned out. Gorgeous piece. We're going to be doing large projects in the future, so hope you guys liked it. Hope you got something out of it. If you ever get a chance, go check out Blink 182. Absolutely love them. So here's the finished product, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, guys. Peace. Have a good Sunday. All right, so project is done, and look at this behemoth of a bowl. We have not done a bowl project like this on the channel, I would say, in almost a year. This is huge compared to the other bowls that we've been doing, because I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to do bigger, better. I guess the best way to say it is I'm trying to not perfect, yes, always trying to perfect, but trying to do better at my craft, both YouTube and making these bowls. But this one, absolutely gorgeous. Turned out a lot better than I initially thought it would. After we polished it up and everything, got the resin, the wax on it, looks absolutely gorgeous. And only bad thing is, you can see from earlier in the video, the wood didn't go down the way I initially thought it was, but we're obviously going to try this again. Beautiful bowl. So I started this video at 6:30. It is now Saturday, July 8th, and it's about to be 11 o'clock at night. So got the project done. Right now I'm gonna stop this after this little monologue, go edit the video, and we'll have a video for tomorrow morning. So crazy day. Started out my morning in Austin. Woke up at like 5 in the morning, drove all the way here, took a nap, had this blank. I didn't think we were gonna have enough time to get it done, to be honest, and I really took my time, learned a lot from this. I'm sure I went over that in the commentary, but was able to get all this finished. So I hope you guys like it. Hope you guys got something out of it. Hope the video presentation is a little bit better, and we're gonna keep, you know, perfecting what we're doing on the channel as far as the cinematography and telling a story, because I think that's where the channel is gonna head, is woodworking and creativeness, but telling a story at the same time. So anyway, hope you guys liked it. Hope you got something out of it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.